There you go. So less in terms of hard engage from a ranged situation, but a lot of CC and power in the mid game. And this draft for both teams felt like anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, you're going to lock into Talia, I'll lock into Twisted Fate. They did, of course, pivot to the Ahri in the end.
All right. Both fan chants pretty even here, Wolf.
If they further commit to this, we'll get hit.
Yeah.
By aiming, who also takes that first.
Well, the Storm Strike comes down, but we've got 5 versus 4 here, but Life is out of position. A lot of autos. The Frost Shot getting a lot of value here as Life takes a lot more damage than he otherwise wants to. Rascal moves on up. You can see the Aatrox is in lane, and this means that KT will get positional advantage. Rascal will have to teleport very early. Deft and Beryl going to move past them, though, as you can see. We'll see whether the volley is going to come through as Beryl misses the handshake. And it is going to be a good trade there. Electrocute proc comes out from Life as well. And yeah, DRX probably don't want to fight them anymore. Yep, as Rascal going to be trading here, but not exactly going to be winning out. Infernal Chain's working extraordinarily well here for Kingen in the early stages of the matchup. That's always how it goes, but also Kingen had a tempo lead from the very beginning of the lane.
Okay, this is a scary moment here to commit to Drake for KT. They need to stop the snowball from rolling for DRX, but they just don't have a teamfight comp just yet.
Yep, Bubble is going to miss as Cuz has moved on forward. Tidal Wave is decent, but Pyoshik gets himself into the brush. Hostile takeover comes in. Cuz is going to get bullied away. Deft is getting these auto attacks down, but Vikla is making his way down the river before Zeka can get here.
The push and the power that Kingen has top side of the map is still going to last a significant amount longer. Zeka.
Yeah, oh, Charm is going to miss. The cleanse comes out there as the arrow just barely misses. That would have been a dead Vikla, 100%, but not going to be able to find the target is Deft, and now the Rift Herald is going to go down. Zeka's quite low. They should still be able to get plate value here as Zeka's going to surf on over, look to make sure that he can actually gain the money. He does so, shares it with Pyoshik.
Won't matter necessarily for DRX, so hold that thought.
Oh, this time the charm is going to land, and Zeka's going to have to go golden. Pyoshik's going to come on through, looks for the poppy copter. There's the flash as Zeka throws down the seismic shove, but it's not going to find the target. Cuz turns off the turret, but he doesn't turn it off enough, and first blood goes to the poppy, and now Deft is throwing arrows at aiming, but aiming is slinging light, and he's pretty happy about the situation, as Deft now going to be preoccupied with these minions. Yep, Deft doesn't have arrow either, but Kingen has rotated down. Rascal's this time in the area, though, as now Vikla's going to be forced to ult early. There's the Weaver's Wall. Kingen very happy just to stand over here as Pyoshik collects Shirley. Charm is going to go wide, actually finds Deft, I believe, or just barely misses him. The pathing would have made him move that way anyway, so a little bit confusing as now KT are grouped up. Kingen finds some more Infernal Chains. The volley value is massive as they are going to turn onto Rascal. He gets CC'd out of the ulti, and Cuz has already fallen down. Deft is free hitting Kingen. Not going to get bailed out of this one, so it's going to be a 1-for-1, but DRX have priority of the mid lane, and this composition is working.
It's pretty massive for them if they could secure it, but right now DRX have full control. Look at the resources that have to be committed here to save this top turret. Lying in wait. Yeah. Beryl does, of course, have his ultimate.
Ooh, Bubble is going to connect, and they just pop over the wall. That is a really nice pick there from Vikla. Guarantees that one as the back comes through there from aiming. I think was not having the greatest of times against Kingen in that mid lane, but good answer here from KT. Trust the attack was stacked up a little bit, otherwise he will be fine. Loyalty program used once again as Weaver's Wall going to come through here from Zeka to block off the KT members. DRX probably not going to be able to use this as the Searing Charge is going to knock down some of the wall, but Tidal Wave, hostile takeover, all of the buttons going to get pressed as Pyoshik is out of the pit. They're not going to be able to take the Drake as Zeka is doing his best to stay alive, but it is going to be the Drake secured by KT, and they'll take that in an even trade. Tried to hit Rascal with the arrow to deny the second round of the Ornhorn, but it did not work as now Deft is going to immediately stop Vikla from coming in. That trap was just amazing from DRX. Now Cuz is going to have to ult to get himself out of here, but running away from this comp is really hard. He does so. Zeka is going to create a wall, and aiming not going to get shoved back or anything like that.
There's just no way that KT could realistically hope to steal this. They don't have Tidal Wave. All they have is an Ornhorn.
Yeah, well, the Ornhorn is going to come through. The hostile takeover will deny the second shot of it. This barrel's not going to get bailed out. Cuz is so incredibly low, though, and Deft is just going to fight off aiming by himself. The Baron's going to come through, and they'll get kills to augment it as well. Great knock up there on to Rascal, who bellows pressed to get out of the seismic shove. Nicely done, but honestly, most of the damage had already been done. Imagine if it was the Imperial Mandate. As, okay, Koshik, he's going to go on forward, finds a fantastic Keeper's Verdict as well onto Vikla. Buddy makes his way out, but hostile takeover is so valuable. Now the Ornhorn comes in as Rascal looks for someone, but isn't going to be able to find it. Charm also goes wide as Kingin has just taken 0 damage. Deft is frontlining. They do have a decent tidal wave, but Koshik is tanking up so nicely. You can see Kingin is just doing all of the work here in the front line. The Nami is just seafood as the arrow's going to connect onto Vikla. Great aim there from Deft, who celebrates by breaking his watch on the floor. He just throws it down, much like Kingin is right here as he's fighting, aiming. This base gate doesn't mean anything as you can umbral dash over it, and DRX should move back to the Baron.
Maybe that miracle fight goes KT's way and they could turn this one around, but it's going to be so tough.
Well, the arrow's going to come through. It lands onto life once again, but Vikla diving on forward. Steadfast Presence is going to deny the ulti as Rascal looks for Def, but he flashes it so beautifully. Tidal Wave also completely misplaced this time around as Kingin's getting the knockups. There's a heroic charge, and Cuz will fall. Rascal now as well, not going to get hit by that hostile takeover, but they are on full retreat right here. Remember, Deft has GA, Kingin has GA. They were never going to die in this situation, and now these newly rebuilt inhibitors are going to be thrown to the ground yet again. Whoever built them is going to be so frustrated as DRX will take down the inhibitor turret on the top side as well. And that is all of the outer and inner and inhibitor turrets removed as the inhibitor will stay alive. Deft throwing some autos into Rascal here, but just has a little last whisper. So he may need to use it on himself. They do have the charm that comes through, but it lands onto Zeka in that backline. Great Ornhorn comes through this time around as the bailout is onto Zeka here. They do manage to take down one target, but Deft is free hitting. Vikla is out of the fight for now as Life is just trying to swim away. Just keep on swimming, little Nami, but she's not going to be able to do so. And now the knock up onto Deft. He does still have the GA, but he kind of throws it away here as he is going to be respawning. Kingin going to be able to get the double as, oh my god, Deft will finally fall, but there's the heroic charge and Vikla will go down. And I think Kingin has well and truly earned his POG this game.
Oh, he just popped off, man, in this last fight. 4-1-4, dominated the lane all game long, and is just unkillable. No bailout needed this time. They tried to use that one on Zeka, just completely wasted it. Kingin's like, man, they can't kill me. I guess you're never going to cast it on me again this game. DRX, it's a 40-minute-and-a-half win here. Doesn't feel like it was that long of a game because DRX were always being proactive, always doing something on the map. Was slow game, very, very pragmatic the way they did it, but they will take the Nexus down in the end.
Yeah.
KT, always 1 foot, you know, in their base. They were just unfortunately stuck in their base for the majority of the last parts and never got to use it until that final moment, and it still wasn't enough. So I think it was a great final fight there, and like you said, the biggest win for me in this whole thing is DRX just coming with such a plan. Or it could be the really boring Xin Zhao pick, which is the one that first came to mind here.
Oh, he
with
just
the
does
Belfast
it.
angle, yes!
All right.
Yes, this is the Belfast angle because you've got the scaling. You have this composition that has so much speed. You're wanting to go to the late game, and KT's damage is all on one champion who has extremely low range on the Aphelios. Yet you have...
All right, Belveth just going to be swimming her way out onto the rift. See how it is going to go. 3-1 is the center Seraphine. One time it has fallen short, and we'll see whether aiming and life are going to be able to add another one to that column. As right now the trades are working out pretty well. As Vikla just dashing towards Zeka here. Let's see how these trades are going to go as we are checking out the Silas win rate while Kingin's just real dead. The Olaf is punished. The Viking went to Valhalla far too early here this game. Wolf? feel like his work is done. Just a cleanse, so not exactly the end of the world, but Vikla is just going to get solo killed by Zeka.
Wow.
Remember, do you remember this, Wolf? Like, the Azir-Sylas matchup is so skewed in favor of the Sylas.
Very early on, teleport back in. I don't know if we'll get a shot of the bottom side one more time. Look at the zoning here. He's just walking up to try to CS. The wave is in a perfect spot. And, like, okay, I'm going to make a point about Cuz, but he's going to make my point for me potentially here with this dive setup. Level 6 for Rascal.
Yeah, let's see whether Kingen is going to be able to stay alive here. He doesn't have the Ragnarok up and available yet, as he will be taken down here. And Cuz is going to reset the aggro quite comfortably. And yeah, this whole minion wave is going to go down. Kingen does have teleport available, but I've seen this one before as well, as Vikla is going to go back this time. Not going to get killed, but this means that DRX is able to take down this Drake. And the teleport back to the turret does come through here, as Kingen is going to try his best to salvage the lane.
And, I mean, this advantage that DRX has in tempo is not one they should have this early on.
Kingen's going to find the undertows, and he's got Ragnarok, and Rascal is just dead. That's what happens after level 6 is hit, and Kingen says, yeah, you can kill me twice, but you need to bring your friend. I need no one.
Trade back a kill, so he's going to get that value of that once the 55 stacks are down. His undertow gets picked up, and he hits another one. Picks it up, and presses his buttons, holds on to the W, and he has an R, and he's just like, I'm going to kill him. Got him.
What are you supposed to do? Like, you actually can't do anything. There's no counterplay.
You literally can't do anything if he has Ghost ult. Yeah, if he has Ghost ult, what can you do? You can't do anything.
Well, Deft is going to have to Dawning Shadow here as Vikla picks up an Ember's Divide and then just gets divided himself. Goodbye. That is going to be Pioshik picking up the kill as well, which is a disaster for KT in this game. Cuz is going to loop around, though, and he's looking for Kingen. Kingen does have Ragnarok as he's trying to keep himself alive. Dawning Shadow gives him a big heal as he wants to pick up his axe. He does so. Cuz is going to be slowed down, and now Zeka's going to come in to help him out. Life now out of position. He'll get snared. Encore, he's going to pull him back as now aiming is very scary. He should be able to kill Deft, but no. The flash does come through, and now Pioshik is swimming after the members of KT. Beryl possibly caught out as this fight is happening on way too many fronts. But KT is still losing out, and I think it has to do with the fact that these wallets are already pretty padded. Pioshik just going to face check, though, and that's bad news, Bears. The Renata is just going to get immediately taken down, though, as, oh my god, the damage from DRX, but aiming is still alive, and Rascal's trying to frontline for him. Beat Drop is going to slow him down, and you can see DRX, they still want this fight.
KT looking to take the Drake, though.
Yeah, immediate teleport to come forward here, but Life is wrapping around. The Drake is going to be secured there by Cuz. Zeka just going to shift his way out as Vikla finds a great ulti onto 2. The Seraphine going to be taken down immediately. The Olaf follows suit. It's a double kill for the Aphelios, as it's a great knock up there onto Cuz, but he just heartbreakers, and Zeka is going to be taken down. KT find the turnaround as DRX get greedy. Just trying to keep this phalanx together. They have to do it, and they have to play out this fight so much smarter. Exactly right, Wolf. Drake is going to get held up. Now KT backing away. Kingen, can he actually find the fight that he wants? The on-call goes completely wide on KT's side. We'll see whether Beryl can find his. Moonlight Vigil does absolutely nothing as the hostile takeover. A very similar situation. Beryl taking a lot of damage. It looks like this Drake belongs to KT, but DRX, but can KT get out of here as the Belveth will lock that one down and gets her transformation. Zeka doesn't find the ulti whatsoever, and now he's fighting against both Rascal and Vikla. Dawning Shadow means the end of Bristle and Sejuani as now Pioshik is zigging, he's zagging, and he'll pick up the kill after Vikla's bought a little bit of time. As there it is, double kill for the Azir, and DRX show us what their comp's supposed to do. DRX gets over here. They do get vision,
yeah,
but
need to get over there
this might actually just straight up be too late, because there is so much damage here from aiming with that crescendo. And yeah, it's just gone. Baron is just going to be secured. Yep, Vikla looking for the encore. It goes entirely wide. And yep, KT will still be able to get out. And you may as well fish for some sort of ulti, because KT have already gotten exactly what they wanted.
DRX want to trap aiming here somehow, but his positioning is too good.
Yeah. Well, Life is just going to face check, so never mind. Aiming, can you fight the Olaf is the question. With Cuz's help, the answer is absolutely yes. But DRX still able to group themselves up together, wanting to take down this inner turret. Cuz is a dangerous unit here on this Viego, but the turret will still go down. Pyosik zigging and zagging around the battlefield. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but remember the Baron still went to KT. That advantage is still there.
I cannot.
DRX still, this is a scary composition, and they can still get a lot of work done. Aiming does have to be so careful, but if aiming's in good position, then KT should be unstoppable. 20 seconds on this Mountain Soul point for DRX, and KT can even that out with 6 Elemental Drakes so far this game.
Vikla has 16, so he could maybe ult twice if he gets 2 good ones.
Yeah. Now Pyosik
trying to control the choke.
Looking for that side. Yeah, exactly. Vikla on the flank does find an Emperor's Divide here. Zeka's going to take a bit of damage, but aiming looks for the moonfall. Deft almost just explodes, but he will survive. Encore does come through and it lands onto aiming. Can they get there? Can they take him down? He's going to flash to get out of the way. The Emperor's Divide from the Silas is not great. However, they still get rid of the Viking. And DRX, they lose 1. KT lose some health bars, but gain position on this Drake.
I mean, aiming is 4-0 on this champion. He's 5-0-3, hasn't died yet. It's just showcasing why KT could prioritize this champion more than other teams. Here we go.
Well, Zeka is going to get stunned up, but he does have his stopwatch available. Encore is decent. The cleanse comes out from aiming, and he is still alive. Pyosik not going to get taken out yet, but Deft is not going to be so lucky, and KT get the pick they're looking for. Aiming still at full health. Doesn't have cleanse, but who cares? There's no Senna available. And DRX's composition is really starting to fall apart.
It falls apart when the Aphelios is full build. Doesn't matter what his range is, if he could just 2-tap basically everybody on the screen. Pyosik just trying to buy time over here, distract them. He's got a lot of dashes to escape with. His ghost is on cooldown.
Yeah, he's zigging and zagging as best he can, but yeah, not going to be able to do so as aiming does round the bend and easily picks that one up with the reactivation of the Gravitum. So yeah,
that's
possession of, will they ever take his GA? Maybe the GA is like the most worthless pickup here for aiming because it's never actually going to get any value because he'll never actually go down to the GA level. As now DRX trying to defend as Pyosik dashing on forward. There's the Emperor's Divide, but my god, look at that. Aiming just tears him to shreds with the Moonlight Vigil. No one's dead just yet, but everyone's way too low to defend this turret. And now Kingen, yeah, he's a referee. He's trying to hold up the red card and say stop. And KT's like, no, don't care about your opinion whatsoever. We're just going to break your things. And that's precisely what they're going to continue to do, as 2 inhibitors just evaporated at a moment's notice. Snare going to connect there onto life as now Kingen looks for the undertow. They do manage to get a flash because aiming is nowhere near this fight. Kingen now chasing down Cuz as Vikla does have an encore available. But in comes aiming now as Kingen's gonna have to turn tail and run for the hills because going down so extraordinarily low.
Fights.
Yeah, all right.
Longer fights. That value of the Leandres is really starting to show. Cuz gonna almost lose his GA here. And
as Cuz looks for something here, Deft moving pretty quickly, but now Rascal's found Kingen, who throws out the ulti. Glacial Prison connects onto Pyosik there as well as Kingen's trying to survive. He can't flash to get over that wall or anything like that and doesn't even have the ghost available here as Emperor's Divide comes through from Vikla as then they go down to the GA. Now the handshake comes through onto Zeka as well, who goes into his Zonya's. Emperor's Divide comes down now and oh my goodness, KT just roll over the top of them and aiming is untouched. They cannot get to this Aphelios whatsoever and the DRX bottom lane is not going to have any answer to this at all.
There's just not enough damage, and that was not the greatest Emperor's Divide of our time here from Zeka either. Just not enough follow-up there. KT gonna bring us to a game 3.
Yeah, they certainly are. Moonlight Vigil comes down yet again. Beryl and Deft, just no options. Another encore is gonna be dodged there, but the Nexus will still go down, and aiming just wins the game. It's a very easy pog vote this time around, Wolf, and Belveth. We know that, like, if you've played solo queue, you know what she's capable of, but it's like, I swear, she is just newer Master Yi.
Because they can shape the early mid so well with those ultimates that they can use. Like, Lucian is going to be strong there basically by default unless something goes super wrong. And Cuz picked Wukong instead of a Trundle, instead of a Volibear here. So isn't going to be able to impact that lane as much.
All right, KT fans a little bit drowned out by the DRX fans today in the final chance. But you can imagine that DRX fans are doing their very best. when the Wukong is not necessarily that strong. However, he is still going to dash on top of Pyosik here, who throws down a pillar to avoid Life's dredge line. Doesn't seem to matter though, as Kuz is closing the distance. Finds another Nimbus strike as there's the flash forward. Not quite enough damage on the Q. And Pyosik will survive for now, but no flashes remain. As aiming, he has to get the heck out of here. Doesn't have a Nautilus available, and so therefore does mean that DRX do get some control here of this bottom side.
I loved how Deft set up the lane here, though, for the Trundle gank, and then aiming is able to communicate it.
Okay, dredge line is going to work out here as Beryl. Can he actually dive on top of Deft is the question, and the answer is no. As the you and me cooldown is just a little bit too much. As now Vikla trying to trade back, shifting sands. And Conquerors do come through from both of these mid laners. Great start for KT, though, as he will just look to try and collect this one. Vikla is rotating over, though, and this is a huge wave to potentially deny. As Rascal moves on in, he'll pick up his drill. There's the Nara into the wall as Kingan's going to flash, get himself out of the way. Great double knock-up is going to come through, and the teleport comes down as well. Now the Ornhorn's going to come out. The answering one is there as well, as the Emperor's Divide's going to throw Vikla back towards the turret. The flash forward, though, and Zeka may have overextended. The Conqueror comes through, and the kill goes to Rascal, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a tilter. And it might be based on how the last game went, right? As Kuz going to pay another visit here towards the bottom side. Dredgeline is going to miss. Cyclone will get the knock-up, though. As now Pyosik going to make his way forward. Extendo Beam trying to get that work done, but Def turns it around. Kuz now getting the back massage that he would prefer not to have. And now Vikla is looking for Zeka. Shifting Sands is going to come through. Yep, Pyosik going to move in here. KT, full information. Dredgeline lying in wait as Prowling Projectile comes down. Zeka's the one that's caught, but everyone just gets pushed away. Zeka does manage to escape. Final Chapter will secure the kill onto Kuz. Now Pyosik has his cat back, but KT still have control of the Rift Herald that I think just reset, actually. DRX are now going to look to push in the mid lane.
Yeah, it resets and they don't have a jungler. Vikla.
Yeah, Vikla looking for it here, is aiming, getting some Qs over, but they're not quite long enough.
Do think more Azir players should be willing to go for this in comps like this.
Ooh, the side steps from Zeka there as Emperor's Divide's going all around the rift, but Vikla just going to get wrecked by the pillar, and Pyosik's just going to chomp him. 26 seconds on this Infernal Drake as well, as DRX should be able to collect their second off the back of that.
I'm pretty sure he didn't steal that one too recently.
Yeah, well, Final Chapter coming through here. Here's the bullet hell that we were talking about, but maybe it's hell for DRX as the culling now going to try and turn it around. Barrel going to be taken down yet again, though, and now Vikla turns up, subjugates the Trundle as Emperor's Divide is going to come through, but Zeka is just dead. Oh no, he is going to survive, shifts the sands to get himself out, but honestly, the damage has kind of been done here. And Kingan trying to get down towards his bottom side, but he's lumbering a little bit too slowly, and KT will be able to just take this turret anytime they want. No, absolutely, and I think Zeri's a more scary late game carry as well. So this is all just bad news for DRX, who are now trying to find themselves the team fight that they want. Ornhorn picked up by Vikla, and he's going to call the Forge God pretty early. Dredgeline doesn't find the mark, but oh my god, the burst damage here from KT is absurd. Rascal looking for depth, and he'll find him. Emperor's Divide to try and keep them away, but the Lucian is still going to be taken down, and aiming is just a man possessed. Zeka will be taken down. Beryl has no friends left, and KT, I mean, this game is just donezo.
It's over. It's over now. It is 100% over. How much KT were willing to play around him and sacrifice other parts of the map and bait engages on the bottom side. Like, Kuz has had a fantastic series, and
he has. Kingan's not so much had a great series, as he'll cram his head into his own turret and die. That's how that one's going to go. As Def gonna try and find Kuz here, who goes into his stopwatch pretty quickly. Culling is going to take down the Wukong, but Dredgeline, max range is going to connect, and aiming turns up in the nick of time. KT going to get swept up, though, as Zeka's trying to be the hero, but aiming still has full health, guys. This Zeri cannot be ignored, and KT can still push forward.
Now, I think a lot of you guys have seen this trick before. KT very careful to make sure they do not actually clear that ward to make it obvious that they are there.
As Teleport is going to interrupt the back there from Rascal, who will die, but he'll get his team of Baron, as he's just going to dance. Yep, throw some buttons around, sounds good. And that means that KT will be delivered the Baron buff, and Rascal says, worth in all chat. Make sure that he does that. I really wish that we could pick up the chat here and check that one out. But just assume that he said worth. Theoretically, a possibility for a fight. Ornhorn going to come through. DRX's last chance. Saloon, great double knock up there from Kingen. In the backline is Deft is going to pick up the depth charge and move it towards the back of the fight. Aiming is extraordinarily low this time. The pillar to deny Rascal his entrance into the fight. The extendo beam not going to work. And DRX will steal the team fight from KT, even when 10k gold behind. But at least does have Call of the Forge God as Pyoshik. All right, here's the other Call of the Forge God to come through here as Kingen. Let's see whether he has the answer. The Trundle's already dead though, and Kingen will be able to get a few knockups, but aiming is unanswered this time. And yeah, I have a feeling that KT may have just found the victory in this particular team fight. Rascal finds a Gnar as Deft looks for Vikla. Extendo beam is going to be there as Rascal is going to chase down the Lucian as best he can. Zeker is trying to escape, but he's not going to be able to do so here as Deft is dashing, but it's not going to be enough. And this inhibitor will fall, and that will spell the demise of DRX.
Another fight forced here by DRX, but this time it was the only choice. They didn't have any other options. KT had the better prio setup. They were hoping that they could just force their way through. But unfortunately, the better Ornhorn comes out this time from Vikla as a tragic ending. A tragic ending for DRX in what was a dominant Game 1 start to this series where they had such a lead. Game 2, we have a lot more questions now about where DRX stand on the west side of the bracket.
Yep, I feel like DRX is just a team that never changes, Wolf. There's always that consistency issue some weeks, and even in this series.
Hello, thank you so much everyone. This is Dear for the POG interview, joined by Aiming. That was the last match of round 1. I want to ask you how you're feeling after reverse sweeping. So although we lost the first game, we told ourselves, let's just finish strong, and we did pretty well. So Aiming, you are now rank 1 for the POG rankings. How do you feel about that? I don't actually pay too much attention to POG rankings, but it does feel good to be rank 1. Seems like you always have been getting unanimous POG votes. This time, it seems like there was a bit of a split votes. Does that matter to you as well? Yeah, so again, I don't really pay much attention to POG rankings, but yeah, it is a little regretful that I didn't get the unanimous votes. So Cuz and Life, due to COVID issues, they weren't on site today. Were there any issues with communication? I noticed that the two didn't really have much energy during communication, so I was a little worried about that. So, since I'm sure you're very concerned about their health, do you have anything to say to your teammates? I feel like it was definitely really empty without Life next to me. And I noticed that because he looked like he was very sick. I hope that they both get well soon. In Game 2, DRX took out the Senna Seraphine comp, and seems like this comp has a pretty high win rate. And did you think that the picks that you guys went with, Aphelios or Nada, would work against them? So we've actually played this matchup before, and yeah, they hurt a lot. But I felt we decided that yes, if we do play well, it would work out and we can definitely win. For Game 2, for their 4th and 5th pick, DRX took Olaf top and Belbeth. And what was the discussion on the KT side like? We had no idea that they would pick Olaf top, but I think the way that we answered them with Seraphine, it worked out pretty well. So What does KT think of Belbeth? I feel like Belbeth is definitely a high carry potential champion, and as long as you can play her well, it can definitely impact the game very much. In game 2, so with your ability to scale so well with Aphelios, you guys were able to take Baron 3 consecutive times. So what was the win condition you guys thought of? So since Aphelios has such high burst damage, and he's a ADC that has the burst damage, we decided that as long as we engage and poke them out, we would definitely win. In game 3, it looks like they left Zeri open, and you guys were able to take Azir as the first pick. So what were your thoughts on the draft? So I'm actually pretty confident playing Zeri, and seeing that they left it open, we just went ahead and picked her. This split, it seems like your Aphelios is an undefeated. You have a record of 3 wins and 2 wins with Zeri, also undefeated. Which one do you like playing more? I feel like I'm definitely lean towards Zeri more. And what are your thoughts on Silas as well? I feel like with those champions, sustain is really important, and they definitely have high carry potential. So I believe that both champions are very viable. So both games 2 and 3, it seems like you did not die. So is there any secret for avoiding deaths? So there was someone who was bantering pretty hard towards me. His name is Dokdam, and it felt like I got pretty slammed, and I was pretty stunned by what he said, so I really tried to step it up this time.
약간 그때의 상처를 원동력 삼아서 이렇게 좋은 모습을 보여줄 수 있는 것 같습니다. 그리고 원딜 분들을 보면 보통 보조룬으로 지배 아니면 결의를 가는 경우가 있는데
So for AD carries,
보조룬을 고를 때 어떤 기준으로 선택하는 걸까요?
playing Zeri, it looks like it's usually a split between domination and resolve. So which one do you normally go with? I pick domination when I try to farm gold, and resolve whenever I want more sustain. So now you will be going into round 2, and your first opponent will be Guangdong Freaks. Anything to say about them? Last time we were against them, it was such a bummer that we lost, so we'll try to prepare so that we can definitely win this time around. This will be the end of the interview with Aiming. Back to the analyst carpet space. Thank you.